Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Seth, psychologist, with some couch commentary. When I do couch commentary, I just talk about something that's going on in the culture from a psychological perspective. And today, what I want to talk about is something related to the very popular mystery author Freida McFadden. You've probably heard of Freida McFadden before, or maybe you've read one or more of her books. For example, she wrote The Housemaid and the various Housemaid books. She's also got The Housemaid, which is currently made into a movie. Anyhow, she has sold millions of copies. This is really an interesting author, and I'll just share, by the way, that she started out self publishing. She is a phenomenon, ultimately, that she has reached the heights of success that her movies are in actual movie theaters today. Anyhow, what I want to talk about is something that's really intriguing that's related to this particular author, and that is partly related to the fact that she writes with a pen name. She writes under a pen name. That is a pseudonym, Freida McFadden. It's not her real name. Well, what's interesting is that a group of people online on social media have tried to figure out who she is, who the real Freida McFadden is. They are intrigued and they try to figure out who this woman actually is in real life. And I think part of why people are so intrigued with this particular person is about her biography. She has actually shared that she is also a doctor, that she has specialized in working with patients who suffered from brain injuries. Over time, she has shared as her success has gotten so big that she is actually no longer seeing patients. But in a recent interview with Jenna Bush Hager in December 2025 in Jenna's podcast, Freida McFadden appeared in full disguise, in a wig, layers of makeup. Well, anyway, in that interview, Freida talks about why she's chosen to write under a pen name and writes about the fact that, she really did this largely to kind of protect her patients from the idea that maybe she had this other life and that she wanted to keep this part private. Well, what I want to talk about from a psychological perspective is what it indicates. Those individuals who are really intrigued with finding out who the real person is. What does it show psychologically about somebody who doesn't just read her book and has really no interest in knowing who the real person is, the personal background, versus somebody who reads her books and actually gets intrigued by wanting to figure out who this person is. So I think there are a couple of reasons psychologically why this could be. One, somebody who really wants to figure out who the real person is, they may just have a mind and a brain that simply likes to figure out puzzles, that likes to put the puzzle pieces together, sort of work like a detective and try to figure things out in that way. Some brains simply work more like that. Another example in a different sort of realm is somebody who likes a crossword puzzle, for example. That individual, that's partly what their brain is drawn to. They like how disciplined and methodical it is. They too like putting the puzzle pieces together. Now, people who do crossword puzzles, they don't necessarily do it because they will get something from it. They will get something as a result of it. They actually enjoy the act of doing it. And I would argue, as a clinical psychologist, that their brain actually works in that way. And that some people have a brain where they have very active brains, and their brains like to have something, some sort of mental, intellectual, cognitive stimuli that they can focus on, that the brain can sort of sink its teeth into, so to speak. So I think that's one reason why you could take something like this, a group of people in social media who really want to try to figure out who someone is. I think that that's one reason. Another reason may have to do with sort of like an attachment or relationship component. So, one of the things that I know about Freida McFadden, having read about her, is that she has a Facebook group. She has had a Facebook group that's been pretty active really since she started writing, and that she has been very active in her Facebook group community. And, I also know, having seen a couple of interviews with her, she presents as very down to earth, very relatable, very accessible. And so I think a lot of people, if they are, involved with her in a Facebook group and, she contributes in the group and she talks to people in the group and also in interviews, if she presents very relatable, a lot of people may feel like they really know her to some extent, even though personally they may not know her personally. They obviously don't have a one on one personal relationship. Some of the things like this, being a part of a member of her community, may actually make them feel like she has a relationship with them. And so for some people, they may feel like her writing under a pen name, going in disguise, really in full disguise, and not revealing or being transparent about who she really is in real life, some people may feel like that is a barrier to that relationship. So if somebody tries to figure out who she is, it may be sort of the mind's way to try to say they want to decrease that barrier and really know who that person is. They want there to be more transparency. They want that person to feel more accessible. Now, of course, public figures are allowed, they have every right to have their anonymity. And one of the things that I think we can take away from this is to focus on what we can enjoy. Individuals who are fans of Freida McFadden and who read her many books, they can enjoy those books, enjoy the stories, and ultimately that's what really and truly matters. I'm Dr. Seth, psychologist.